What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. Hey man, check it out. I got the Fesley FED1200 in the studio, and we're gonna check it out right here, right now, on this channel. Man, it's going down already. So check it out, man. I got it unboxed, and I want to talk to you about unboxing. I'm gonna tell you all about the little nuances and cool things about this drum set. I'm gonna tell you what I like. I'm gonna tell you what I don't like, and we're gonna have a little fun with it. Just checking it out, having a good time playing it. So let's start with some of the things that I really like about this drum set. When I first pulled it out and started to unbox it, the very first thing that I noticed was the snare. This is a 12-inch snare. It's about 3 inches deep. It is closed back. It is a really nice piece of equipment. The snare stand itself it's a really nice piece of equipment. Now, can you get a better snare stand? Yes, you can. But let's consider everything that I'm going to talk about is in the box. All right? It's already in the box. There's nothing for you to go and buy. Not only that, but you even get the sticks. You see that? It says Fesley on the sticks. They got their own sticks, bruh, with the name on it. But this is the other cool part. You get two pair. They even give you a holder to place the second pair in. So if you're rocking out and riding out and you drop a pair, reach over to the side, you got another stick sitting right there. So it's really, really cool that they give you all of this kind of stuff in the box. So again, sticks, snare, the very two things that I noticed when I said, oh my God, they did it. Now, let's talk about the hi-hat. Now, I was already impressed with the hi-hat from the FED1000. So I already knew what to expect. I know it's a nice piece of equipment. I know it feels good. But as far as a piece of equipment is concerned, it is very sturdy. It is well built. And you don't have to worry about this being something that if you crank up on it really, really hard, that it's not gonna last, you know what I mean? Not gonna hold up to the pressures and the pain that you're gonna inflict on this piece of equipment right here. Okay, now let's talk about how it functions. Of course, you have closed hi-hat, and just so you know, I'm using the first drum set called Pop. That's the sound that you're hearing right now. So I'm just gonna do that. I'll go through a couple other sounds and we'll discuss that too. But when you hit it, you can tell you got the closed hi-hat. You also have open hi-hat, just right on, and I just lifted my foot, and then of course, if you hit it. So if you're playing, you can get that flavor, but you can also do it with just your foot and get that same feel. So that is a really cool feature, very, very similar to what you get on an actual hi-hat. Now, I will say this. I have noticed that sometimes when I'm playing it, if I try to do open hi-hat and I don't hit it just right, it is very unforgiving. You have to get used to how to hit this, and that has to become part of your natural way of playing. Because every now and again, of course, me trying to do it now is going to work perfectly. But yeah, it just messed up that time. I was trying to get it to do it. If I don't hit it just right, sometimes it'll do it. Like if I try to catch it on the top, you follow me? Sometimes it doesn't work for me when I do the open hi-hat. So, but I think that is a function that is a situation of both the FED1000 and the 1200W. So, because I did discover that on both. But as far as being a piece of equipment, does it function? Can I play? yes, it works. It functions. So that is a very, very nice piece of equipment that I really did like about this. It goes together pretty simple as well. So I would advise you take your time and put it together. Make sure you insert the rod first, okay? Don't try to put the actual top part on without inserting the rod and then inserting the rod down through it. You have to screw it in first. It'll make sense once you get yours out of the box. Now let's move over to the toms. When it comes to the toms, these are really nice. They're actually 10-inch toms. You get 3 of them. And they work. They feel good. Really easy to hit. One of the things I did notice about them is that they seem to be dual zone. And you get kind of like a side, what you would get that ring of a shell almost. You know what I mean? So you get the feel. They really went for the feel of an acoustic set. Even in, if you make a mistake and hit that, if you hit the side of that drum, they really did go for that natural feel. Playing it, you do get that. It does kind of feel like an actual drum set because of that. It's instead of having like a different sound, like a cowbell or something like that, this feels more natural and more real to life. When it comes to the cymbals, I think they did an excellent job of whether it be the hi-hat, the way it feels, the rubber feels really good. As the bell, you got the triple. You get that triple ride. Same thing, double on the and not only do you get that, but you can choke all 3. So for those of you who love the choke, you get it. They did give you that. Now, let's talk about what I think is the star of the show. Okay? To me, in my opinion, my favorite piece of this whole drum set is the kick drum. The kick drum itself. First of all, this thing's massive. It's like 10 inches, and it is massive. For those of you who are going to ask me in the comments, can you play double bass? Listen, you can probably get 3 bass on here, 3 kicks on here. It is massive, and it actually feels good. So I did enjoy it. The pedal itself is actually a decent pedal. It's not flimsy, and at this price range, you know, to get the hi-hat, that big a bass drum was very, very shocking. So it moves good. It functions exactly the way you think it should. So I did like that. So now let's talk about the placement of the cymbals. Now you guys know that I'm a stickler for where the cymbals have been placed in these corners like this because you don't have a lot of movement. But I think what makes this work for me is that the rack itself is curved versus straight, which gives it room for each of the pieces, whether it be the snare and the hi-hat or even the top for the cymbals. And they don't feel, and I'm pretty sure it's because it's wrapped, they don't feel like they're over in the corner somewhere. They actually feel like they're sitting where they need to be. So I did find that to be comfortable. Now, you will note if you look at the pictures of this drum set online that I reversed the floor tom and the cymbal. I reversed them. The reason I did that is because this ride is a 13-inch ride, and it just seemed a little bit too big, and it pushed the tom too far out for me. I don't like that, you know, sitting too far out. So I reversed it. I'm telling you that to let you know that you can reverse it. Now, if you watch the video of the FED1000 that I looked at, you know that one of my biggest problems with that drum set was the module placement. The module was hidden underneath the hi-hat, and there was really no way to change that. Even if you stuck the hi-hat on the outside of the rack, which was really weird, it just seemed like a bad placement. Well, when it came to the 1200, Fesley did an excellent job of placing the hi-hat right where it was supposed to go. So now I can still play, but I can get to the hi-hat and I can see, get to the module, and I can see everything about the module. So I did really appreciate that they upgraded that portion of the drum set. Now, that is almost everything that I love. Let's talk about the rack itself. For those of you that are looking for a drum set with a sturdy rack, you always complain about the rack, you're going to love this. This thing, for the most part, I think I've moved it a couple times and I'm still adjusting it, but it's really, really solid, really, really firm and doesn't move too much. But I'm still tightening some things down. I had it tight and I moved it. So you probably can see it rocking a lot more than what it would really rock. But even when I'm playing, it's not moving. So I really did appreciate the way they built this. Now, as a result, it is a little bit more difficult to put together. So I'm going to walk you through real fast the easiest way to put together. When you take this out of the box, be sure to not take the rack system itself outside of the plastic. The reason you don't want to take it out of the plastic is because each piece of plastic has a letter on it, you know, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, that coincide with what's in the actual directions. So if you take the directions and open them up, you'll see the drum set sitting there and it'll say A, B, C, D, F, G. Take all of the pieces, look at them and lay them on the floor, like you see in my picture, out exactly the way it looks in the book. Once you do that, it'll make setup a lot simpler. Now, in addition to that, when you do start putting it together, make certain that you slide the pieces, the rods, all the way in. And as you stand it up, you make certain that they're all the way in and tighten down. Now, let me go back on that for a brief second. The rack system, you should start, let's say start left to right. Put the cross beams, there's two. That's what makes it so steady. Put those in on one side first, adding the second side second, and then you can spin those arms out, adding the arms, and then adding the extra feet. If you do it that way, it'll go together really, really simple for you, and you'll appreciate that I explained that to you, the easiest way to put this type of kit together. All right, so those are all of the things that I love about the set. Now, let's talk about what I dislike about the set. All right, here we go. The things that I don't like about the set is the sounds. When it comes to the sounds, you know, we started out, this is pop. It says pop #1. And as a result, it's showing an acoustic kit. I was expecting more of an acoustic sound. That's not the hi-hat sounds good open. The close leaves a lot to be desired. Now let's bring up the next thing about it that I have an issue with. If I hit this on top pretty hard, it sounds good. But if I hit it, now it doesn't want to do it. Every now and again, I notice that it doubles. There it is. You hear that? Now, I've been playing with the settings, trying to get that to stop. It is a balancing act to try to get that to stop. So far, I've gotten it to do it less, but it still does it on the hi-hat. And I'm thinking it has to do with something about the hi-hat itself and not necessarily the module. Now let's talk about the sounds that relates to one of the things that I talk about, how the sounds degrade over time as you play. One of the things that I disliked about the FED1000 was it seemed as if the sounds degraded too slow or too quickly. This drum set goes out a lot further. And as a result, it sounds a little more natural. It's a lot further, so it sounds more natural. That part, I hated about the 1000, but I do like about this. The kick drum, no matter what I was playing, sounded good. Now, there's 4 different adjustments that they have. And when mine came out the box, it was at full ambience, and I'm going to show you what that sounds like. I'm going to turn it all the way up. It's not bad. It's a little echoey for me, but you may dig that sound. If you turn it down, I'm going to go to about 50%. I think you should play with that setting to see how you like it. I have my volume, I have my treble and my bass pretty much almost all the way up, but that ambience was a little weird for me, just to get used to coming out of the box. I don't know where the best setting is that echo. You gotta sit and play with that. But now let's move to another drum sound. I want you to check out this sound. This is pop 2, if it'll move. There we go, pop 2. To me, they did such a good job of trying to get the feel to be natural, that for me, going immediately to a sound that is more electronic it was too soon. I would have really appreciated more acoustic sounding kicks, sets. I'm gonna go to number 3. This kit number 3, I gotta have my hi-hat completely closed. And I wish they would have given me a closed hi-hat. I like this set. There's your side stick. Let's turn this down where we can really hear it. I'm turning the ambience down. Remember, an acoustic set is not going to have all of those effects. So I want to see. See that kind of half open hi-hat sound when I have my foot closed I think that Fesley should really focus on bunching the drum sets more logically. Let's go with those acoustics, different versions, and then move and really look at it. This is kit number 4. I won't go through all of the kits, but this is kit number 4. For those of you that want to know, yes, you get the side stick. So that's not a bad set. So I think that overall, Fesley has a decent set. I don't think that everybody is going to enjoy all of the sounds that are in there. I think there's some sounds that are going to be very disappointing, especially some of those electric sounds. Some people are going to love them. Some of us are going to hate them. There's a lot more about this drum set I want to get into playing and get into maybe and do another video, a follow-up video on to see what I grew to like or dislike about it. But overall, as far as the gear, this is some of the best gear at this price range. I cannot knock it. I cannot wait to do a shootout with some of the other drums, put it up against this, and really start to compare and show you, pros and cons of both drum sets or other drum sets and see what I think. I think that from the FD1000 up to the 1200, that the FED1000 and FED1200, I think that the jump in gear alone is probably worth the amount of money. I still think the Fesley can do a bit better with sounds. I just think they can do a bit better with sounds. As far as the way it's built, the way it feels, I'm feeling it. But I'm struggling with the sound quality. It is an upgrade over the 1000, but I'm having a bit of a problem with the sound quality on much of the drum set. And for those of you who know, I try to play a little just clean so you can hear things instead of just trying to do a bunch of riffs, just so you can hear what things sound like. Just so you can really get an idea of what we're playing with. I'm gonna do one more sound check just to see. And this again, the ambience is down. I'm gonna turn the ambience all the way up. Let's see. Yeah, that's not for me. That's not for me. Yes, that's I don't know. That's a jazz kit. All right, so there's a couple things that I did not mention in the video. Bluetooth capability, Bluetooth MIDI, it has. USB out, it has. So it actually steps up, which makes this drum hard for me to answer when it comes to asking the question, who is it for? It confuses me. So I'm going to try to answer this question in a couple different ways. If we just talk about the price, at $800, $700-800, it's definitely not an entry-level kit that you would buy for somebody just starting out. But at the same time, it's perfect for that purpose. Why? Because of the size of the snare, the size of the kick drum, the size of and the fact that it has the hi-hat. It's set up so much like an actual acoustic set that it's perfect for the beginner. Now let's move to say somebody, let's talk about skill-wise, somebody intermediate and above. Yes and yes. It's definitely for those people. The place that it bothers me and where there's a drawback for me is in the sounds. Now, if you've been watching my videos long enough, you know I have a hard time with sounds. But my problem with the sounds is not that they don't sound good. It's that I think that the way they set up the kits, like kit 1, kit 2, kit 3, kit 4, etc. I think they should have bunched those acoustic kits up to really showcase what this drum sounds like, and then got into those flavorful, colorful electronic kits and doing those things. I think they should have done that. The sounds themselves sound great, with a little bit of an exception. They sound good, don't get me wrong, but they still taper off. It's not totally natural. I can hear them cutting off, and I pay attention to that. Now, you may never notice that, but I do. So that's something that bugs me. So what do I think of the drum set overall? I like it. I think Fesley, the 1200W, the FED1200W is a solid drum set. It is by far, without question, in this price range, one of the best, if not the best built drum sets I've checked out that are in my studio that I have. In this price range, that is the sturdiest cage. It's the best build setup. The feel of it is the best. It feels real. The only drawback is the throne. Take the throne and put it in a corner somewhere and set a plan on it. and get you a throne. But the fact that everything's in the box, everything that you need, yeah. I like this drum set, I have to admit. Best built drum set so far this year that it's Fesley, you did an excellent job with this drum set. I would love to talk to you guys about how to program it. I think the module needs to change. It's a little bit too retro. Maybe that's a price thing. Maybe y'all put all the money into the drum set itself and not into the module. Same thing with some of the sounds. Maybe you could put a little bit into the sounds a little bit more. But overall, this is a very solid kit, and I can say, yeah, this is one, if you get it, you won't be upset. You won't be upset. Too many great things about it to be upset.